con los rompe discoteca.
Tú quieres duro. 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 Hoy te demostramos que somos los nuevos jefes del underground. Quieres duro.
Dale duro y dale más duro.
It is high, it is far, it is gone.
Los verdaderos. Vamos pa' la calle.
Mixing live straight from
Hola mi
New York
gente,
City.
welcome back to another episode of Don Yankee con el Party. I'm Roberto Ruiz, aka Don Sicario. With me today, like always, is Ruben Cruz, aka Numero Ruben. Welcome
What's
back,
up, what's up?
folks. Ruben, as the title says, we're technically right now impatiently waiting for the season to start. As we have to sit here, right? Just like some of the other fan bases that we hate, and just sit on the couch and watch what's happening in the postseason. So far, it's been a good postseason. If you know, I can't even lie.
Shoot.
I mean,
But it's been a good one. A lot of late game heroics.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
there was some upsets. The Atlanta Braves are no longer part of it. I mean, that was a big upset. I thought they were going to be one of the finalists. I thought it was their year, but that's baseball, Susan.
The moment Jeter said that Philly was going to beat him, I was like, all right, I believe Jeter.
So, I mean, it seems like the Astros have found their way, and they might take it against the Texas Rangers.
Mhm.
Arizona, though, Diamondbacks are fighting back against the Phillies, and that's that's a surprise for me. I wasn't expecting the Diamondbacks out of all the teams to be one of the final ones in the ALCS, especially against with all the teams that were in that damn division. I mean, even in the NL.
Yeah,
What do you think on that? What do you think on the Diamondbacks? Just like 2-3 seconds.
Man, the Diamondbacks, like they always had the talent. It was always just like, it was just hard to envision it because they're the Diamondbacks. You know what I mean? But when you look at their pitching, they had the pitching to do it. It was just a matter of their young guys actually clicking, and they did. You know, they Carroll's been a beast for them. You got Marte stayed healthy too.
Marte, and it seems like the guys are stepping up. There are guys that they need to step up, kind of stepping up, and we're seeing that a lot throughout the whole postseason. And it's kind of like this postseason is a perfect example of like what Brian Cashman was saying is the postseason is a crapshoot. But at the same time, it's like a 50-50, right? Because look at the Astros.
Yeah,
are the Astros that lucky?
7 straight ALCS, you ain't that lucky.
You're not that lucky. So it's a 50-50, in my opinion. But let's talk about Hausheimer and his comments. So far, we got a glimpse of what was going to go on. Because we already heard the news about the audit. They technically weren't going to bring in an audit team to audit the team per se, right? They were just going to get some audit what the league is doing and kind of give them the info, and then they could kind of compare themselves, which is stupid. But it is what it is. Hausheimer has said one of the comments that kind of stuck with me is the Boone comment. You remember what the Boone comment was? Aaron Boone, we basically told him he has to be tougher. He has to be more. What do we do? So instead of getting rid of him, right? Because obviously we knew they weren't going to get rid of him. But that's what they have to offer us. Well, we spoke to him, and you better be tougher, kid. You're skating on thin ice, buddy.
You can't be Bubbles Boones anymore.
So, but now something I took out of that, and what does that mean? Because you know how they're so cryptic, right? They say certain things, but they mean a million other things. Does this mean Aaron Boone finally gets full control? Maybe they're going to let him do his thing. Maybe because Hausheimer said that they all left their pride at the door or their egos at the door, and they were going to criticize each other. And he said it got dicey at times, but respectfully. I wonder if one of the things that were mentioned is like, because we all don't truly believe that. I mean, I know I'm one of them. I don't truly believe that Aaron Boone has full control of everything, or even the lineups. I feel like they have to stick to the plan. If we see a difference this year, does that mean Boone finally has full control of the team? What do you think about that?
It's weird with Boone because Well, I do think that he's had less control, but I think as the years have gone on, he's had a little bit more control. And the way he talked about it, I think in the last 2 years, I've heard him had moments say like, we discuss it amongst the group together, and we come into an agreeing on what we're gonna do on certain things. But that's the part that kind of like to me is like, well, he's always been in lockstep with what they want to do. Yeah. Because like if you're a manager at some point, you're gonna go and stray away from the planned situation if you really wanted to, and you didn't agree. So it shows to me that he's been always willing to just go with whatever is scripted.
Which is wild to me, especially seeing how his father and his grandfather both have been managers, both have experience.
Yeah, and that doesn't make any sense to me because it's like baseball isn't scripted. You can't script baseball.
You can't. Yeah.
Like you're gonna have a guy come in like, oh, we want this reliever to come in, and that day he could have probably freaking got an argument with his wife and end up like stinking up the joint in the middle of a game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So like there's a human element to the situation. You gotta know the mindset your players are coming in. You gotta know like, okay, how are they feeling that day? Yeah, they probably check how they're feeling, but what's their mentality like? Like, and sometimes like he's just so rigid about the guidelines. Yeah. And instead of using them as actual guidelines, he uses them as like, no, I have to follow this.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I have.
Pops be like, bro, why'd you do that? Well,
yeah.
He does his ear thing and does his nose thing. Well, he thinks about it really hard. Like yeah. I wonder if his father and his grandfather, they're all sitting right at a family get together. They're having their little drinks with their cigars, and the father and his father and his grandfather are sitting there frying him, making fun of him.
I mean, his brother's probably thinking, "Boom, what the hell are you doing?" His brother was a hell of a ball player, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's tough to believe that Aaron Boone, coming from such a strong baseball family, he maneuvers the way that he does. So I'm gonna stick with the fact that I think he's controlled, and I want to look at this. I'm trying to see everything in a positive way, right? Like hopefully these comments mean like he's gonna be tougher. I want to see those gray areas that hopefully this means we're gonna let him do his thing and we're gonna let him be tough. We're gonna let him. Because remember, they got rid of Girardi because he was too tough on Gary.
But they should have kept Girardi if that was the case. Because I mean, I wanted Girardi back personally.
I did too. We've had our moments. I've never been the one to say fire Girardi. Fire Girardi.
Yeah,
even during that game against the Cleveland Guardians, when with Gary Sanchez and the ball hitting the butt of the bat. And the fans were crazy upset. Even then, I was like, you know what? I still like Girardi. And I feel like if he would have stood on board, we would have gotten way closer than what we have with Boone. But,
yeah, I mean, because Girardi always knew how to manage a bullpen.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that was the thing. Like, I know that his time in Philly wasn't that great, but Philly has always had this issue with getting him a real bullpen. And every time Philly got him a good bullpen arm, it got injured. So, like, I never put the blame on Girardi when it came to Philly because his bullpen just never shaped up. But when he was with the Yankees at all times, like, our bullpen was always stacked and he knew how to use it.
Yeah,
so
true. I agree. Aaron Boone, hopefully, because we know he's coming back.
Yeah,
hopefully this could be a year where he can, actually be himself. If they let him, like, let go of the leash, let him loose, and let him be a manager from the gut because he has baseball experience. He has knowledge. He was in the game. His family's in the game. So I refuse to believe that he's this bad.
I don't know, man. I'm more on the negative side with him, just because I've seen too much of it where like he is so rigid about following the so-called guidelines, and it's like, dude, they're freaking guidelines. They're like, this is what we want you to kind of do, but you have the flexibility to do others depending on the situation.
He gets nervous and he's like, I'm gonna just stick to the script. Because remember the comments they said, who was it that I don't know if it was Michael K said that he's allowed to make the moves, but whatever his decision he makes, he better be ready to back it up and answer for it. Remember that? So he's shook to make certain decisions. Like he's probably like, man, I gotta be careful how I make this move. They're gonna chew my ass. Blah blah blah.
I mean,
But now-
dude, like they're gonna chew your ass for not putting Nick Ramirez in the 9th inning. Like, come on, bro. Like at this point, it's like you gotta make smart decisions. They like put your best guys when you're trying to actually win the freaking ball game. Like my problem with Boone has always been that he uses those guidelines in a way like where he's also up by 10 games in the division. Is like, bro, we're not even like in second or first place. We're almost last for half of the year.
Yeah, they're not playing for today. They're playing for like 4 or 5 games ahead.
Well, how can you play for 4 or 5 games ahead if you're not in position to do so? That's the part that I've never understood. Like, it's like you have those guidelines, and you don't want to overuse your guys. And how about you let your starters freaking go the third time around?
Let them go.
You know what I mean? Like, look at Monty. Look at Monty, bro. Look at Monty right now. I've been saying it, bro. I've been talking about this for like 2 years. Like since 2021, I've always been a big Montgomery guy.
You should get him back?
If there's a way to get him back, I would love to have him back. But
I'm on the. I don't think they should. I think that's a.
But will he come back? I don't think so.
That's why I'm like that, because I don't know. I don't know with the way everything ended, his comments, and why should he come back? Let him stay over there. He was a game 1 starter. Like,
I mean, he probably would come back. I mean, he liked his time with the Yankees and stuff. You know what I mean? But I think with because at the end of the day, it's all about the money. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, with him, when I look at him, I've always really wanted him to like let go of that leash, because he
don't forget that every time we would lose when he would pitch, our bats for some reason wouldn't hit. So
our bats would never hit, and that was the part that I'm like, so how are you gonna go and trust these bullpen arms? Because bro, there's been so many games that our bullpen blew his games.
Yeah.
Damn,
and it's because Boone kept taking him out in the 6th because there was
some traffic,
1 out, 1 man on base, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna take him out, and it's like, bro, let the freaking guy pitch.
But Boone has done that so much though, leaving pitchers in too long or too short.
Yeah, like for example, if Montgomery is actually struggling for a start, he used to go and let him pitch to like 100 pitches in like 4 1/3, and then but then. When Montgomery was really going, he would be like 5 2/3 with 82 pitches and take him out. And I'm like, bro, let him.
He's a new guy in Texas. He's turned into a new guy, but
yeah. And that's the thing. Like the Cardinals did fix his pitch mix a little bit, and then it followed through with Texas.
How mad did the Yankees look when he's like, they don't want me to use they don't like my fastball, and then in Texas. They're like, no, you got to use your fastball.
Because, and this is the one thing I've noticed with Texas and both Texas teams, both, is that they use analytics, but they still put in the baseball mentality when applying the analytics, not just looking at numbers and saying, okay, you got to do this. No, they look at, okay, the philosophy of pitching has always been you need a fastball to establish strikes.
Yeah.
And the more you're able to establish your strikes better, the better your pitches are going to look when on the off speeds. He's always had great off speed pitches with his changeup, with his curveball. Like Montgomery's always had really nice off speed pitches. But his whole thing is that as time has gone on, his fastball was getting better because ever since he came back from Tommy John, his miles per hour in 21, 22, and 23 kept going up. And I think this year he's averaging almost 94 miles an hour on his fastball.
And then he has that curveball.
That nasty curve he got.
He's looked good with Texas, but
and that's
I don't know if I want him back. I don't know if I want him back, to be honest, though.
I wouldn't mind him, but if it means that we're not getting Yamamoto, like, no, let me get Yamamoto.
No, Yamamoto right now, there's 2 people, in my opinion, that are a must. Soto and Yamamoto.
Yes.
And they both connect. So, speaking of Soto, let's talk about what some of the offers we saw. Some of these check marks have been putting up potential offers, right?
Yeah.
I've seen some that included some of our minor leaguers, some of our top dogs, right? And if for instance, they had 2 different type of deals. There was one for our minor leaguers, and then there was one where we're not really giving up our top dogs. We're just taking some salary in, which I found that very interesting. especially with the names that they were putting coming back with us. So, and one of the guys that they talked about was Croningsworth. Am I pronouncing that right? Croningsworth?
Cronenworth, yeah.
And he's an infielder, right?
Yeah, he plays first, second, and third. I think he plays even a little bit of shortstop.
Look at that. That gives us an opportunity to get rid of some people. If, let's say, we would go down that route, get Soto, get him, we can get rid of a guy like Peraza. We can get rid of a guy like Glaber. Like, it gives us an extra bat. He struggled, of course, yeah, but, you know, if we're getting Soto along with that, I'm good. Taking salary, I'm good with it. They need to go down that route.
Yeah, if we're taking salary, like, most likely we end up giving we're giving up like major league ready pitching, like Schmidt. I think that was part of that second deal. That we're taking back Cronenworth, and I think they included Matt Carpenter too because he got one more year left.
Yeah, Matt Carpenter. I wouldn't mind seeing the stash back in the Bronx. You know, he could roll in with the Stash Brothers. There's a few of them in there. So
I was gonna say the Stash Brothers too.
We got the Mario Brothers, right? Wells. It's Wells and what's his face that have the mustaches. Right? Rodon got it. Yo, and the Mario and Nestor. We got the Mario Brothers. But how perfect would it be that you got the Mario Brothers and you bring Yoshi in, to kind of set up the whole Mario group theme going on and get Yamamoto to the Bronx. That would be dope. But everything it all connects, right? Because depending on who we give up, depending on what pitching prospects we give up, because we're hearing that the Padres want arms. Yeah. One arms, and guess what? We got a lot of arms. We got a lot of prospect arms and some major league ready arms.
Oh yeah.
So if they're planning on going after Yamamoto, we can give up any of these young arms. I don't care.
We got a lot of arms, bro. I mean, when I mean a lot of arms, I mean the list I was working with Dane a while back. Like we got like legitimately in our top 30, I think like top like 15 or 16 of them are just pitchers.
Wow.
Like
we can give some.
We got some arms, bro.
If Soto becomes available and the Yankees they're not one of the top, because there's rumors now saying that, I mean, not rumors, a lot of check marks are saying that the Yankees are like favorites, right, to go after Soto this offseason. Every time that happens, though, do we ever end up with that person? No.
Damn, son.
Not recently, no.
Not recently, except for Garrett Cole.
Oh, Cole was that white whale that Cashman had to have.
He had to, and then Rodon. Everybody was all signs were pointing to New York, to the Yankees.
Yep. And I think that was Judge. I think Judge really wanted. I think Judge really wanted Rodon.
I mean, I still have faith in Rodon. Like, I know a lot of people are like, he's trash. I guarantee you, y'all could bookmark this. You can fry me if it doesn't happen. 2024, my guy's gonna be dealing, son.
Bro, like, because I'm confident in it. Like the people that try to compare him to Carl Pavano don't understand like what Carl Pavano was. Oh. Like Rodon got that fiery attitude. He wants to pitch. He wants to be good. Like he really freaking cares about going out and pitching.
He's passionate. And
I don't care about the antics. To me, it was like I was fine with the antics. I'll take with the good and the bad because I know that if he's an a-hole when he's bad, he's an a-hole when he's good. I don't care. I'm good.
And you know, I'm all for it. I still believe the guy's gonna do good. I'm not too stuck on that. But Juan Soto, I know a lot of people are touching on this subject now.
Yep.
A few years, everybody's been telling me it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic, right? You've been on Twitter. You've seen it for a few years now. Now
you've been saying Soto since I got on Twitter. All I saw from Don Sicario on Twitter. Get me Soto. Get me Soto.
I've been saying that shit for a minute. When he went to the Padres, bro, I remember during that time I was stuck on it. After he won the World Series with them, I was like, yo, we need to get this guy. I don't know how the hell they're gonna do it. We gotta get him. I was going ape on Facebook. Like I've been wanting this guy for a minute, but now it seems pretty realistic, right? It seems pretty realistic. A lot of people say, oh, it's not going to happen. Let's say we don't get him through trade. Free agency, he's going to touch the market.
Yeah.
Especially with Boris as his agent.
Yeah.
If from our understanding, the Yankees love this guy.
Yeah.
They tried to trade for him. They offered, unless that was all bullshit, but if my understanding, they offered Dominguez, they offered Volpe, they offered everyone.
They
the Nationals didn't like
huge package.
Yeah, and the Nationals didn't like our prospects. So I understand that, but That's the Nationals.
I
Padres are a different team.
Wasn't there rumor that even during the trade deadline this year they were trying to talk to the Padres about Soto?
Yeah, so that's what, bro. They love that guy. The Yankees at this moment right now, the 2023 Yankees, as of recent and maybe moving forward, hopefully not. They're all about the numbers. I mean, they just are obsessed with the numbers. Soto's numbers are amazing, especially for that stadium. He fits it. He fits the profile. The last person that fit Yankee Stadium so perfectly was Bryce Harper. And look at what happened there. I don't think they're going to let that opportunity go again. Unless they have somebody else in mind that they want to add to another lefty bat. So this offseason, remember I was saying that the trade deadline was going to be very important. Whatever they do is going to let us know what they feel about the season. They didn't do shit because guess what? They thought this year's not going to be good. This is a punt year.
Yeah, they were either going to go big or go home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they didn't do anything in the offseason. They went home. They're there with us. In the offseason, they didn't do nothing. So there's like, we're going to wait.
I'm sorry.
Damn, son.
They literally went home.
They're all home. We're all home right now. Coño. They all went home. But they can't miss out again. They cannot continue to miss out on so many. Look at Corey Seager right now. There were so many players that they could have gotten. They didn't. Olin, whatever his name is. That's Olsen.
Damn, son.
Freeman.
I mean, and they offered Freeman, and my thing is like, bro, if you really wanted Freeman, you would have outbid all of them. You would have outbid all of them because the guy's a first baseman, right? And he's getting paid Rodon money, right? He's getting paid like 27 mil, 26, something like that, right?
Yo. Can you imagine him in that?
Bro,
man.
I would have easily, the type of player that he is, the hitter that he is, the athletic build as a first baseman, the guy that just plays every day. I'm telling him, bro, I'll give you $32 million a year right now. Like I would have been like, I don't care. You're my first baseman.
Yep, easily.
As a Dodger, this guy over in 2 years as a Dodger, he's hitting over 325.
See, but would he do that with us though? Because it seems like everybody that comes to New York.
He's a hitter. He's a hitter. Like he's a hitter. He's not a home run guy. Because he's had years where he's hit like 35, 38, but he's always been a guy. Because remember, he when he was a rookie, he had Chipper Jones next to him. So Chipper Jones, raved about him when they asked him about like Jason Hayward at the time, who was supposed to be the superstar coming up. He said, "Yo, Hayward's a beast, blah blah blah." But when they asked him, "Who do you think is no one's talking about enough?" At that time, he said, "The guy I need to be talking about is Freeman," and he said that when Freeman was a rookie.
Look at that. Hey, he's showing it though now. He's showing it because that boy. I mean,
he's a career 300 hitter, bro.
Yeah, he didn't really. I mean, this postseason, I don't think he did much, but
not this postseason.
A lot of people didn't do much this postseason anyway.
Sure, but I mean, you put him in with Judge, that would have been different.
They have an opportunity right now for Soto. So with the Soto, there's so many branches that kind of come out in acquiring him. It gives us so many opportunities to get rid of other people. One of the players right now in the Yankees that is the hot topic if he's going to get traded or not. In the past few trade deadlines, he's been the topic of is he going to get moved or not. Gleyber Torres, Gleyber. Would you move him? I know the answer to that, but go for it. They probably the audience does it.
I would move him, bro. I would move him, but obviously, like in the right deal. Like I'm not gonna go just give him for a bag of chips. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's why I say it's the branch of Soto, depending on what bats we bring in.
Yeah, it all depends. If we get Soto, you can move a Gleyber because I know that they're not trying to go over that Cohen tax threshold, right? So it makes sense that they would have to move a Torres or you know because remember they're trying to get Soto with Yamamoto. Yeah. So
Soto's gonna cost what, 30 mil?
Easy.
And Yamamoto what? Over 25?
That's what's in question because like the way it sounds right now, the contract will be anywhere from 7 to 8 years. They wanted to beat the. They're gonna offer more than what Tanaka got, which I think Tanaka at the time got like 175 or something like that, something crazy that no one expected. So they're talking about like 200 plus for him. So I think
but this is according to everyone. He's the best pitcher in Japan right now. So
yeah, like historically, in terms of like accomplishments, he's the best pitcher coming out.
He's it. So
yeah, like in their history, like he's their best pitcher.
Because if they, let's say they don't get him, they could easily get one of these arms from Miami. It's not going to be the same as a Yamamoto, of course, but Miami's infatuated with Gleyber. All of these trade deadlines, right? They've been the team that is connected to the Yankees. Supposedly they almost had a deal, right? That's why for Gleyber. That's why the Yankees got rid of Monty. I don't care what anybody says. If they weren't going to get a pitcher from Miami, they would have never got rid of him.
Yeah, it fell through, but my only question is, because like remember they got Arraez now, and he's playing second base for them, and I know
still a want.
And is he still like a guy that they're gonna target to hit, and where they're gonna place him? Because right now you could technically like maybe put Arraez at first base or third base because he's played them before in Minnesota, but it's not like he was amazing at either one. Yeah. So. And like I think at second base he was about average this year, and Gleyber in most cases I think he would be above average second baseman. Like this year he was pretty much average. Like his
defense was like, but his bat was not bad.
Yeah,
he was one of our best hitters.
He had an 800 OPS. Yeah, he finished.
So I don't know if that's because our team was trash or he was just really good. But he was. I thought he was really good this year.
I'll give him credit. He was good. Like he was good because like You know he's like the only Yankee that played like a full season, and in combination to have less than 100 strikeouts. He had 98 strikeouts in 158 games played. Like when he came into the season, he said one of his goals is to like cut down his strikeout rate by a lot,
and he did good.
And he wanted to make sure that he hit for power, but still maintain his batting average, which he did.
I wonder if they're gonna. I wonder if the whole team itself. The philosophy in that big meeting, I wonder if this was brought up. Like I think that's what they're for everybody individually.
With Casey, definitely. With Casey, because if you see Casey in the MLB Network when he used to do those swing breakdowns with DeRosa, he's always talked about how contact is important, and not just for power, but he's saying you gotta hit for average.
Yeah,
because everybody's talking about like this is what I don't like about like when they cover. And the MLB Network is like, it's about the team that hit the most home runs, right? Which is true. I completely understand that the team in the postseason that hits the most home runs typically wins as long as they got the pitching.
But you got to hit the ball.
But you got to hit the ball. And who hits the ball? People with high batting averages.
Yeah.
So if you're not, you could be Gallo and you're going to suck in the postseason, or you could be a Freddie Freeman who doesn't hit 50, but he'll hit like 30 home runs and hit more. Now, granted, he didn't hit this postseason, but you get what I'm saying.
But but look at just with Judge having his own batting coach or whatever, he doesn't use them, right? He has his own peoples. That says a lot. The captain of the damn team doesn't like your people, doesn't like what you guys do. So he has his own team. Yeah,
he talked to Casey too. Like he actually talked to Casey. Like, I don't think he ever talked to Lawson. I never saw him talking to Lawson.
Hell no. Hell no. He probably looked at Lawson like, bro.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Who is this? But, all right, so Rizzo, Anthony Rizzo, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not Rizzo, sorry. Cody Bellinger.
Mm-hmm.
Acquiring Cody Bellinger, does that mean it's a no-go for Soto? Because if we get Belly, that's going to be a few years. Mm-hmm. Are they going to want to put money towards Soto?
See, this is where, to me, it's more about, because I think it can be an either or if they decide for it to be like, if they're putting a hard line, but there's a really good case to getting both.
Yeah,
and the reason why is like you got Rizzo one more year. He's gonna be a free agent. He'll be gone. You got Stanton that if somebody does decide to finally take him and he decides to say yes, obviously we don't know what that situation looks like. But, you know, if there's at some point some kind of trade that can be worked out, all right, cool, whatever. But Rizzo's going to be gone. Glaber will most likely be gone. We're looking at about $30+ million there just already shaving
This
off.
offseason, it's going to be 60 mil off already, right?
Yeah,
About
but
60
like
million?
and then you got the arbitration case, like cases and everything. But like overall, like we could potentially have 50 to 60, and maybe a little bit more if we trade Glaber, if we go in and you know, depending on the certain moves that we do. But keep in mind, this is the part that people need to remember as well. With this new collective bargaining agreement, the levels of the tax level raises each year. So the first level of the tax is going to get higher and higher.
What tier are they in right now? Are they in the second tier or the first?
So the Yankees right now are projected. I think they're going to be just under that tax threshold, like overall, without any free agents. So if they sign free agents, they're going to go over the first level and the second level and things like that.
After this season, the last thing that should be on their mind is trying to stay under their tax and trying to, like, the money situation. That should be the last thing on their mind, especially with the way 2023 was. Yeah,
exactly. So like that's the thing. Is given how the season turned out, I don't think that they care about the tax level right now.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking about is like each year it goes up. On each level, the first level, the second level, third level, they all go up in the Cohen level.
Yeah.
In a couple years from now, like, because we went from 230 to 233, now 237 this year coming up. Then the minimum on 2026 is going to be 244 for that first level. So that means that as time goes on, we're going to have less money that's inside of that tax as long as we don't have to keep adding more of those salaries and we start learning how to structure those salaries. Because remember, eventually we're going to have a Stanton come off. We're going to have a DJ LeMahieu come off.
Stanton, oh man.
Like,
Stanton is a topic I don't want to touch.
If Stanton and LeMahieu and Glaber and Rizzo, all of these are gone, that's a lot of money coming off.
Yeah.
So
they have enough money coming off. Yeah, they have enough money coming off in the next few years to be able to make these moves, to get
money coming off.
To get a soda.
Money coming off and the tax levels going up. Yeah. So that means it's going to be easier to try to balance out the tax levels because I understand why they want to like limit it because each time you offend the tax, like every time you cross it, they're going to charge you more the second, then they charge you more the third time. So like that, for example, the first level is like 20% the first time around. Well, Yankees were over on the first one. So, and then the second time for 2023, 2022, they were over a second time. So that's 30% taxed now instead of 20 for every dollar. And then same thing with the third time around, now it's 40. So like they keep taxing you even more. But and now once you get to that third level, the really, really high level, that third time around, they're going to charge you like 80% on the dollar.
Damn, son.
I don't think they're going to pay much mind to that because
to me, I don't mind. Like I'm not even worried about that because again, the minimum is going up. Yeah. As long as Cashman adds the right pieces, we don't have to keep sprinkling in
the right pieces, right? And this is going to be hard.
Exactly. Because Bellinger is a good move because we can slide him to first base afterwards.
Yeah,
he could be the long-term
he'd be great
first
in
base.
Yankee Stadium with that lefty swing.
Him and Soto,
You know. Oh
like
my
to me,
God.
those two are realistic. And honestly, like, look, I want Yamamoto, but like we need lefty hitters.
Yeah. That's
Like,
what I was saying
that.
in one of my tweets. Is like, I wanting to get Yamamoto. I'm all for it. If it happens, cool. But the Yankees should be prioritizing bats this offseason. And you know why I have a feeling that they are going to do some good stuff. I think they're not going to really. Because number one, with the way that this season ended, fans are at the highest of upset. It's in a while, because it's been accumulating. Since 2017,
they
it's been
set themselves up this year.
Yeah, but check this out. So I think since they said that we're going to make changes, all of this, and now slowly all those words are kind of stepping. They're stepping over themselves. But since they're not going to get rid of Cashman, they're not going to get rid of Boone, two of the main people that Yankee fans have been raving to get rid of. Since they're not going to do that, right? They're like, well, we're going to start bringing this guy back. Yeah. If they do that, let's say they keep the same people around. The only thing is they change a lot of philosophy. They change how to do certain things, right? That's why they had that meeting. If they're going to do that, they're going to think to themselves, well, fans are going to be pissed because we didn't get rid of who they wanted. So to kind of balance that out, they'll be like, instead of doing that, instead of going through the headache of cleaning house, getting a new GM, doing all of this, let's do what we do best and let's just start adding some better players. Let's go for some of these stars. Let's trade for Soto. Let's bring in players that are going to make the fans excited again. And exactly. I truly believe that's what they might do this offseason. And if they don't, guess what? We screwed. We're in.
No, I agree with you, bro. I agree with you because my thing is when I look at the way they've handled the money, they've been spending the money. They've been spending the payroll's been tops in the league. But it's like,
Cashman tries to beat you and he spends
what are you spending on it? What are you spending on it? Like we spent $34 million for 2 years, for like 3 years in a row with Chapman and Britton.
Yeah, we spent Britton didn't do much for us.
Yeah, like at the end he was hurt. So it's like
the Donaldson deal alone should have gotten them fired. Should have gotten fired. Cashman fired.
Donaldson was getting paid practically what $27-28 million, right?
Yeah, it was over 25 million.
Harper's contract is 25.4 AAV.
Yo, bro, the comment section is gonna be like,
that's the part I never understood. You're telling me Bryce Harper is getting paid less than $30 million a year at that time, and it's only because Philly gave him 13 years.
Damn,
Ruben, but you're wrong, though. Let me tell you something why you're wrong. He's no Josh Donaldson. I mean, he is no Josh Donaldson.
And that's the thing. Like you know how you said like they have to make these kind of changes and stuff and add better players because yes, they backtracked on a whole bunch of stuff. They said, "Oh, we're not done yet." They said we're not done yet, right? They go ahead and they start saying. Then they go and say, "Oh, why? I don't understand. It's mid-season. Why are you mad?"
Yeah. Because remember,
I don't understand.
He's not in tune with the fans.
And then to go crashing down to like the bottom part of the division, and then now he's probably thinking, damn, son. You know what I mean? Like we dropped all the way down. So not only after he said those dumb comments saying, why are you pissed? Yeah. Are you not paying attention? We don't got a left fielder.
He wasn't paying attention.
We don't have the players that we're supposed to be having with the almost $300 million payroll.
Yeah. He hasn't been paying attention, yo. That he doesn't realize how out of touch Brian Cashman is.
And the last part to that point is then you go to the postseason, right? Wow. You see Freeman in the postseason. You see Corey Seager in the postseason. You see Harper in the postseason, leading his team to possibly his second straight World Series. A guy who
Cashman looks bad.
Didn't fit in our team, who was willing to play first base for the New York Yankees, right? Well, they said we got 6 outfielders.
Cashman wasn't wrong though. Remember that thing they put out? He's not wrong though. He's not wrong.
And then he goes, but hey, guess what? It's 2023, and he's a first baseman. He's a first baseman now. Guess what? Wow. Bro, we could have had him transition to first base with that kind of bat. You make it. You make it happen.
When he shaved his beard and he started playing first base when he was with the Nationals to show us, like, yo, we can use him. We can have him. He can fit the Yankees. He shaved his beard and started playing first base for a few games just to show. But technically, if we're going to be – Cashman wasn't wrong because of his incompetence. Yeah, it's true. We couldn't use him because our outfield was stacked already. It doesn't mean they were stacked with stars or anything like that, but technically it was full.
Yeah, but you make room. You make room.
I know. So at the same time, he was right and he was wrong. He was right in the fact that it's true. They didn't have space for him. He was wrong in so many ways because it's because of his incompetence and his ego that our outfield was packed with a bunch of nothing.
And if you think about it, Hicks at that time was actually good.
Yeah,
You telling me you couldn't trade him?
I know. But he was
You couldn't
making
trade
10
him.
mil. What, $10 million?
No, he wasn't. At that time, he wasn't even signed yet.
Oh, he didn't get that.
He just came off that nice season in 2018. They extended him that spring training afterwards after not signing Bryce Harper. You could have traded Hicks.
The
You could've-
Giancarlo Stanton was because they didn't get Ohtani. So the
Yes, and they didn't want to wait for
the
Harper.
overreaction was Stanton because
Yeah.
it fell on their lap.
But
It fell
even
on
at
their
that,
lap.
like you could have moved Harper first base. We would have had first base like locked up for years now.
Yeah. But
Because
again,
he's a good.
they were
first
not
baseman.
allowed
He's
to
not
criticize Cashman. They were not allowed to criticize Cashman, right?
Hey,
Because
and then-
he's another
and-
team will pick him up in a
Hey,
second.
and cherry on top. Montgomery is not a postseason pitcher.
Yo,
He wouldn't be. He
He
wouldn't be in discussion. He wouldn't be in discussion to be in our postseason rotation.
Cashman so far, and this year alone, and with the postseason, everybody has gotten to see the real Cashman. He's been exposed, especially with all his comments and how it's all getting thrown back in his face.
And going back to Monty real quick, everybody keeps saying that he wasn't this pitcher. Actually, I'll tell you what he was, and I'll explain why. They wouldn't let him off the leash. So your ERAs are automatically going to be more inflated the less innings you pitch.
Yeah.
More times than not, he has that one little rough inning and he gets out of it with maybe 1 run, 2 runs, maybe 3 on the worst day, and then next inning he can go ahead and take it. That's what Texas has been doing. That's why his ERA is down, because the more innings you pitch based on the runs that you allow, you're going to go ahead and your ERA is going to improve.
Yeah.
So you look at it, 3 runs over 6 innings is a 4.5 ERA. So if you go at 3 innings on 3 runs on 7 innings, guess what? That's a 3.86 ERA.
You got to let him pitch more. You got to let these guys pitch.
You got to let him pitch. So then,
you got to let him pitch more.
Not only they didn't let him pitch, then on top of that, they go in and say that he's not good enough when it's like, bro, the last 2 years, 2021, 2022, there's not been one pitcher in baseball that's had more pressure-packed innings than Montgomery had, not having an offense scoring for him.
Yeah.
His starts every game was like a playoff type start because he never got the run support.
Yeah, he never got the runs.
So how are you going to tell me that you trust someone in the bullpen?
That's why I don't want him back.
Him?
That's why I don't want him back, to be honest, because they didn't get runs with him. So like it was, I don't want to. Like I get it, but I don't want to. But listen,
no, I get that, but that's my thing with Cashman. That's my gripe with him. It's like you didn't know what you had, because you guys limited him, and then on top of that, you guys
handled him wrong.
A lot of he would have had way more wins and everything if he stopped going to the bullpen so much. Because yes, everybody talked about like Hector mentioned it the other time, and I was wondering about that stand. I'm glad Hector mentioned it the other day.
Shout out to Hector. Shout out to Hector. The morning, bro.
And TC Steels. But yeah, so bro, they mentioned what I was curious about, and I'm glad they pulled it up. It was like the perfect timing because I was thinking about that, and when I saw the video, I was like, thank you. Yes, we were number 1 in ERA. But we're bottom 5 in when it comes to allowing runners from the starters, the inherited runners. And that was the part that I was like, I'm pretty sure that our ERA is deflated because all the runs they allowed were majority from the starting pitching.
Listen.
So that's why our starting pitchers should be even better. Our starting pitchers numbers should look even better if you
Are we blaming Matt Blake for that, or are we blaming just the philosophy?
No, it's the management because you can't. Right? Matt Blake doesn't tell him when to take him out.
True.
So if you go and tell him like, hey, like we need the starter to go another inning, or let him get out of this jam because if we go and throw this bullpen arm, he most likely is going to throw away the game. Like this bullcrap about like trusting Nick Ramirez in a tough situation is ridiculous. Just because the guidelines go and tell you that it's been 2 days in a row for this person, we can't pitch him a third day. It's like, if you're not going to go and trust your starter, then you better go to your best reliever.
You better go to your best reliever.
Then they're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that because they have a game plan and they got to stick to it. So
that's ridiculous. It
is ridiculous. But listen, going back to the Harper could have been our first baseman. They get his first baseman right now, Anthony Rizzo. Does he bounce back this next season? Is he healthy right now? At the moment, is he healthy? Is he gonna bounce back? Would Bellinger, if you see them go after a Belly, and they also go after Juan Soto, is that kind of steering towards maybe Rizzo might not be back, or maybe Rizzo they're not really banking on him completely, so maybe they want to have Belly as our backup to kind of slide into first eventually once the Martian comes back? Or
I think if they were to get both, right, like Belly and Soto, or one or the other, Rizzo only has one more year, and if they were to go and get both, it's because they're not banking on his health.
Yeah.
Could he bounce back? Yeah, but he could also not bounce back. We've seen Justin Morneau, a former MVP, get a concussion and kind of never be the same after that. And he has some decent years here and there, but he never could play like a full season.
Because before the concussion, my guy was balling. Rizzo was balling.
He was at 300, bro.
Yeah, he was balling. So I mean, I think he could, but at the same time,
you can't bank on
I'm in
him.
this. I want new people in there. I'm in this mode right now that I just want to see
same stuff.
Yeah, you can't keep doing that. You can't keep doing that.
Why are we in the situation we're at? Because we kept banking on Stanton staying healthy. We kept banking on Rizzo staying healthy. We kept banking on a lot of guys that
Damn, son.
The next man up failed. You can't continue to try to do the next man up. That's only for maybe an emergency.
That's a 1 year wonder, bro. That was a 1 year wonder.
1 year wonder. So that brings us to this. What are the wants for 2024? What are your wants? Well, if it's, give me at least three. Matter of fact, it's up to you. What are your wants so far that will make you happy?
I'm not gonna exclude. I'm not gonna include the subtractions. I'm gonna just say what I want to be added.
Got it.
I want, and I'm gonna go in this order. I want Soto, Bellinger, and Yamamoto. The reason why I put Yamamoto third, and I understand he's elite. I get it, but even with Yamamoto, if we don't address the hitting, we ain't doing nothing. Yeah. So I want the hitters. Give me Bellinger. Give me
because
Soto.
Our pitchers in the postseason, for some reason, they come through. It's always our bats. How many people we leave on bases? Our runners in scoring position, our stats in the playoffs.
And terrible. Those two guys don't strike out a ton either.
They don't. Yeah, they don't.
And they're left-handed. So like I want those three, but Soto, Bellinger, like those are my top two.
There's some other guys out there that I wouldn't mind. You know, the Donovan from what is he, St. Louis? Like
but that's a trade though, and that's the part that I'm curious. How much do they want to trade him?
That's true. I don't care if they do or not. I'm just speaking like other scenarios.
That's a good option. I like him. him. He's a good contact bat. Like that's a guy that with a really high on base percentage. I think he has like a 384 on base percentage for the last 5 years. Like he has a really good on base percentage. He gets on base a lot. My
dream off season would be bringing in Kim Ng. You know, we've been talking about this for a minute. Mm-hmm. Bringing in Kim Ng to she can be the GM. Let Brian Cashman move to another position. It's probably won't happen. She wants to run. She wants to be the general manager. She wants to run the whole operation. I don't know if Brian Cashman will let that slide like that, but seeing how she's one of his proteges, maybe he likes what she would do. So maybe he'll be like, all right, I'm okay with that. So, but I would do a Kim Ng, of course, Juan Soto, Yamamoto, and I'm good from there. Whoever else they want to bring in, I'm good. Sprinkling a bunch of I don't knows. You know what I'm saying? Because Cashman loves to do that, bring in a bunch of I don't knows, and he did that shit. He did that this year.
See, I don't want the I don't knows anymore.
As long as we have Juan Soto and Yamamoto and Kim Ng, I trust that Kim Ng will make the right moves to bring in those I don't knows. I think these I don't knows will be okay.
I don't even think we need the I don't knows, right? Because if you think about it, you get Soto, right?
That's gonna be the new thing. The I don't knows.
Yeah, I don't know.
That we bring in this year.
It's like, you know what? Let's have Cody Bellinger. Let's say we have Soto. Let's say we get both somehow. Well, guess what? Your fourth outfielder doesn't have to be some random travelman. You got freaking Florial.
Exactly.
Florial played well to end the season. You can have Florial be at the left.
Watch him be the starting center fielder until the Martian gets back.
I wouldn't mind him starting in center field. I wouldn't mind him starting.
As long as we have Soto in left field, we're good, no? As long as we have Soto in left field.
And if you can't trade for Soto right away, Bellinger can play left field. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, either one.
Yeah.
I just need one of those two in next to Florial if Florial is going to be the center fielder. You know what I mean? But if he isn't, I'd rather have Soto in left, Bellinger in center, Dominguez will come back later. You know what I mean? If anything, they might slow him like in terms of the process
Make him
of
take his time
and everything, and have him go to AAA and stuff. You know, so like to me, you get those two. Rizzo, we don't know. He might bounce back, might stay healthy, and if he doesn't, guess what? You just slice Bellinger to first base, and you got Dominguez coming back in center field, and you got Soto in left field.
Boom. Get my guy Numero Ruben up in there. He'll take care of business, son. But here's the thing, though. Let's talk turkey, though. What if this is a sleeper move right here? What if Ohtani's a sleeper move? And they low-key because you know what the Yankees experience. Check this out, as a Yankees fan. Every time we see the Yankees are connected to somebody in the offseason and in the trade deadline, usually that means that the Yankees always do something that nobody's expecting. What if Ohtani's one of those guys? What if that's it? They're still obsessed with him. What if they're like, yo, while everybody believes we're after Soto and this so-and-so and so-and-so, and at the end of the day, they low-key are trying to go after Ohtani. What if? Would you be okay with that?
Would I be okay? Yeah.
Soto. No Soto. Let's say no Soto, right? Ohtani? Maybe a Donovan or some trade? Maybe the Korean kid.
I'd be happy with it. My only thing is then that you would have to make the commitment to not DHing Giancarlo.
Yeah, but
and run with the risk.
We always run into that wall, right? Boom, that wall of Giancarlo Stanton.
And that's the thing. Look, I've said it, and I'll say it again. Giancarlo's not a DH.
He's not.
And I get it. He's been running slow and everything because he's worried about, pulling a hammy or whatever. Look, tell him in spring training or this offseason, look, get your legs in shape to run.
He needs to do whatever Judge is doing.
Or whatever, or maybe his body type is different, whatever. But, just get your legs ready. We're going to have you play in the outfield. You're not
do whatever he did when he was playing football.
Yeah,
football,
you're not gonna DH anymore. You're gonna go and be running every day for fly balls.
And if he gets hurt and he doesn't play,
hey, if you get hurt, guess what? You went out playing 100% and playing your best version. Exactly. I'd rather take 100 games because he's gonna miss time regardless.
Yeah,
I'd rather have.
It's kind of it's gonna be there.
Yeah, I'd rather have 100 games of Giancarlo going 100%.
Yeah.
Then 100 games of him going 50%.
Yeah.
Because he went 50%. Look what happened. The guy for the last 2 years did like 190 something.
Damn,
the Stanton
son.
situation is interesting this year. There's a lot of people. I don't think they're gonna get rid of him. He's not gonna agree to a trade unless the Dodgers. Because if I'm not mistaken, what's his face? Their DH is not. This is his last year, no?
JD, he was a 1-year contract, yeah.
So what if they're like, yo, we can fix. We're better than the Dodgers organization. This is them thinking out loud, right? While they're all in LA and they have the silver things in front of them, the mirror things while they're tanning in their beaches. They're like, bro, they got that Cali, bro. We're better than them. We're smarter than them. We can get Stanton over here. I guarantee you we can fix him. Because everybody thinks they can fix other people, other organizations' players.
They'll take him, I think, possibly.
And he'll become a superstar.
If they miss out on Ohtani.
Ohtani.
I think
so many branches, bro.
And that's the thing. They cut a whole bunch of payroll. They didn't sign a whole bunch of people for long-term contracts and stuff like that because they wanted Ohtani.
I was tweeting that I want the Mets to get Ohtani so bad. Because
they don't get Soto.
So they don't get Soto. And just for that same reason for the Dodgers, that it gives them an opportunity. Well, let's take a chance on Stanton. That would be better for us. Because their outfield is set right now. Unless they pivot, because I'm thinking, what if they pivot and want to go after Soto? Right now their outfield is set, no? If I'm not mistaken, I don't follow them that much. Yeah, for the Dodgers. They're
Yeah,
pretty set.
they got Mookie, they got Outman, and they got
I mean, none of them are Soto, but
Hayward was playing left field.
he's been playing pretty
and
good.
He honestly
You were talking about that. You were talking about that for a minute.
Practically his best slash line of his career with the Dodgers.
You wanted the Yankees to take a chance, and you know it is what.
Well, no, I didn't necessarily want him. Like I used him as an example as to what the Dodgers could do for Stanton. Because, bro, they have this knack at like finding people and telling them like, "Hey, fix this and blah blah." People try to say that the Yankees fixed Carpenter. He did that by himself before he got to the Yankees. He went to the offseason. He worked with Lance Berkman. He worked with
the Yankees. I think it was the Yankees.
That was all him.
Out more.
Then he killed it in the minor leagues with Texas. Because he signed a minor league deal with Texas Rangers, and then he ended up opting out of the minor league contract and went into the Yankees. That was nothing to do with the Yankees. Yankees said, keep doing what you're doing. That's what the Yankees said, keep doing what you're doing.
One thing we know for sure, though, and you know how Yankee fans are. We are like, they're the biggest beef we have, our biggest rivals that Yankee fans have, and I know everybody watching this is going to be able to, like, they're going to vouch, like, that's true. Our biggest rivals are ourselves. Nobody fights more than Yankee fans, right? But this time around, it feels like we are the most united. So the Athletics put out this article with Chris. I never could pronounce his name. His last name. Yeah. So he put out a poll, a few different polls, right? One of the polls, he was asking, what was the Yankees' biggest weakness? 94.1% voted hitting. Do you agree with that?
Yeah,
I agree with that. Right?
Sucks. Like
their biggest strength was their pitching. And the poll was 77.7%. Do you agree? I agree. And their biggest need this offseason, before I even read this, what's the biggest need? Bats. Sicario, what's the biggest need? Bats. What did we vote as fans? 90.6% voted they needed bats, hitting. The biggest need was hitting. So at least that tells you fans are finally
they should have done a fourth poll.
Who do we hate the most? Brian Cashman?
The fourth one is how bad is Boone managing the bullpen?
Oh my God. But you know what's crazy? Some fans will actually it'll probably get like a 70-something%. Because there's still those shills out there that are always gonna.
And bro,
we have fans.
Our pitching was so good. If they had a real manager that can manage pitching, if they had Girardi, a Bruce Bochy, these kind of guys, our pitching would have been nastier. In the way it was managed.
Time out. And for the people watching right now that hated Girardi, don't get it twisted. I'm not praising Joe Girardi like he's this. Oh, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is right now, as of today, who would you have rather have in the past few years with this team and the arms that we had? Would you have rather had Joe Girardi running it or Aaron Boone?
And don't look at Philly.
Say, Sicario's over here crying.
And don't look at his time with Philly. Philly didn't give him bullpen help. They didn't give him bullpen.
Exactly. Before you start this, Sicario with the bullshit. They're on the bullshit. No. At the moment right now, who would you rather have running that bullpen? Would you rather have in the big moments that we needed? Because we can sit here and rant for like a half an hour about how many times Boone has cost us that game because of his bad bullpen management. So imagine Girardi instead.
2018, we won 100 games, and we lost the division still, right? And there was like 20 plus games that year that Boone gave up the game. He gave it up.
Yep.
He said, "Jonathan Holder, come in, buddy. Come on,
so
come on in."
That's what I'm saying. Before y'all start talking shit, before you start frying me, you a Girardi. No. What I'm saying is, if we were to compare and you had the choice, obviously we would pick some other person. But just for this scenario, and for my reference, what I'm talking about, I would have rather had, because Girardi, no matter what, his bullpen decisions they weren't bad compared to Aaron Boone. Compared to Aaron Boone,
he was amazing.
Amazing.
He was
Amazing.
elite. He was elite in his class. Compared to
So,
Boone.
fuck. So, listen. Overall, right now we're still in the postseason. The postseason is still going on. Arizona Diamondbacks, Phillies, Astros, and Texas Rangers. It seems like the Astros are going to get back in the World Series. That's another rant on its own. Altuve doing his thing. That's another rant on it. Yo, but at the end of the day, and I'm going to say this, I don't want to say it, but you can read my lips, right? The Astros and the fans. I'm not one of these Yankee fans. I see some Yankee fans, they hate the Rangers. Yo, I don't hate the Rangers enough to root for the Astros.
I don't care less about the Rangers. And honestly,
let them have the roll call.
See, I'm petty. I'm petty, okay? I'm happy the Astros might go back to the World Series. You know why? Because that's another middle finger up to Cashman. Because that right there is like, oh, really, Cashman? You want to keep doing what you're doing? Well, guess what? They're going to there. What is it? 17, 19, 20, 21. No, not 20, but they had 21, 22. So that's 5 World Series in 7 years.
It's not a crapshoot.
It's not the crap. You know what's the problem? It is a crapshoot in terms of that you could have an amazing team and get eliminated. That's true.
Look at the Braves.
But when it's not an excuse to make your team into a wild card team.
Yeah,
and assume that you can make a run.
Settle for it. Let's just get into it. As long as we get into it, anything can happen.
Because he's not thinking this is a World Series team. He's saying this is enough to get into the crapshoot.
Yeah. But you got to remember, the Yankees don't think about the postseason like that anymore. Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees, here's another reason why Hal Steinbrenner was confused. Remember, he just checks up on let's go to the crap table. Let's see what the numbers are. He's seeing how much success they're having that he's confused of why Yankee fans are mad. Because guess what? We attend the games. We spend a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
So he's confused. He doesn't. The numbers that he's looking at are how much money he's getting back.
Yeah, he's looking at that, but he's also looking at the fact that we haven't had a losing season.
Exactly.
And
so they focus on the regular season. They focus on the regular season. That's why a lot of their trades, think about it. He's like, all right, Cashman's probably like, look, we have these good minor leaguers. We don't have to trade them all away for a superstar. When we could trade 1 or 2 pieces for these mid-level, mid-tier type guys with high ceilings, right? And we could continue this. Sustainability is the key word for them. Sustain this decent season because they're making money throughout the whole season.
And that's the thing. You sustain yourself with good talent, not mid-talent. And that's the problem. You trade your young guys for the right talent. You don't trade 4 or 5 prospects for a Gallo.
Yeah, but look, with all of these bad moves, they're still making what? A few bill a year.
And I didn't even mention that.
A few billion a year.
And I didn't even mention that. I didn't even mention Duran is on the Texas Rangers. He's ours.
Oh, yeah. I blame fans for that, though. I blame fans for that because fans were crying for him. I never cried.
I didn't want Gallo. I didn't want him.
You know how I felt about Gallo? I feel like that with Bellinger's situation. I feel a little bit more, but I felt like that. I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I didn't want Gallo because Gallo to me he was so feast or famine, and it's like if you're trying to make sustainable offense, he's not the guy.
The Bellinger situation I like because the reason I'm 50-50 on it is and I love the story of it, right? His father was a Yankee. I would love for that story. You know, they love a good Garrett Cole as a kid with the sign.
Yeah,
like, they love these type of stories.
Bellinger in the clubhouse.
Yeah, Volpe as a Yankee fan as a kid. Like, so bringing in Cody Bellinger, I can see them doing it because guess what? It's gonna be a story. They love it. Right? His father was a Yankee. I can see it now in his press conference. You know, my father was a Yankee. I've been one because he'd be like this. He'd be looking mad stoned. He'd be like, "Yeah, man. Like, my dad was a Yankee."
Yeah, man. I'm so happy to be here.
And then then it's one of these good. It'll be in a pause like this for a while, just like stone, right? But think about it though. Then he's like, my dad was a Yankee, and having him there and this host, they love that shit. I love that part of it. I would love for him to come. And it's a good story. and him to have success, and imagine him helping us get into the World Series. That's all cool. But he can always just convert back into the reason why the Dodgers got rid of him.
But like to me, the Dodgers situation was twofold. Like I think
the Dodgers are smart, son. I don't care what anybody says. They're smart.
I didn't think he was healthy. I didn't think he was healthy.
But he was like that for. It wasn't just one season that he had bad. It wasn't just one.
Yeah, because remember his shoulder injury happened in. I think he had a shoulder injury in 2019, and he ended up getting into the swoon in the second half. And he still
you think it was just, you think it wasn't him? It was just the injury that was messing with him.
The injury, and also maybe a bad approach from him and trying to lift the ball more. Because remember, like 4 years ago, there was and granted, remember, I was with last offseason. I even said on a live with Felix, I didn't want Bellinger. I was one of the ones that didn't. So, but me after doing research on him, like it made me realize that with him, it was the health of his shoulders, because he just was not healthy. You could tell that his shoulders weren't right. When you look back at the video, the way his follow through was, it wasn't as complete as he usually was.
I can't front. When he was with the Dodgers and he was doing bad, I'm not gonna lie. I tweeted, Yankees should trade for him, take a chance on him, and get that starting kid.
I remember you saying it, and I was like, damn, I was like. I don't know. I don't know.
I tweeted about that, but then I kind of just laid back, like, you know what? But I did but this is when he was bad with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe in New York, his lefty swing, he'll get hot with us.
And that's the thing. 2020 was bad for him. It was like mid. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't.
Yeah, because his defense is always still there.
But in 2020, he had a crazy postseason in 2020.
Yeah,
and then in 21, he sucked. 22, he sucked. But I think in 21, he still had somewhat of a good postseason. But the problem with him was that his follow-through was not there. When I looked into the overall numbers of his launch angle, like his launch angle increased by a ton. And the problem when your launch angle increases that much by like 5, 6, 7% more, his swing became extra loopy.
But he fixed it though. No, he fixed it. He did it with the Cubs. Or did he fix it with the Dodgers?
He fixed it with the Cubs, but like I think it was the offseason. I don't think it was necessarily the Cubs. It was just that like he went back to his old swing.
Yeah.
Because when you look at his MVP years and his good years, his first 3 years, his launch angle was significantly lower. His batting average was higher. His strikeout rate wasn't that high, and like his strikeout rate was actually going down each year. And then once the next couple years after that, his launch angle started going up, his strikeout started going up. And that's the problem. When your launch angle is too high, you have a hole in your swing that helps you
trust the Yankees you trust the Yankees enough to get this guy to help him continue his success. Okay.
And I'll say this because, and it's not official yet, but if they bring back Sean Casey, then yes.
I think they should bring him back.
If Bellinger is brought in and Sean Casey's still the hitting coach, that tells me they're over that stupid launch angle bullshit.
Yeah. Listen, I truly believe since they're not going to get rid of the guys, they're going to be like, look, instead of getting rid of all of you jabronis, because that's what they are. They're a bunch of jabronis. Instead of getting rid of you guys, let's change the philosophy at least. Let's bring in better players, because how many times they've been stressing about that? We need to bring better players. Okay, guess what? You guys gave up on a lot of better players this offseason, though. If everybody's calling for your heads, and Hal Steinbrenner is like this right now. He has Boone's head and he has Cashman's head. He's like, look, guys, I don't even want to be here, and you guys are making it. He squeezes their head like a mob boss. I don't want to be here, and you guys are making me be here. He's like, let's do this. Instead of, I'm not gonna get rid of you guys, but we need to change things. Let's change the philosophy. Let's do this. Judge publicly saying that they have the numbers. They're just, what was it? I don't know. Remember the exact quote, but
they're not looking at the right numbers.
Exactly. So they're gonna change. Philosophy is gonna change.
And he's talking about batting average.
So maybe this all season they do, since they know fans are going to be upset that Boone and Cashman are coming back. Maybe they're going to ball out, and I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to stick to that. You can book it over here. You can book it.
And Casey, to me, did a really good job. And people are going to say, some people are going to say, oh, what do you do? The offense still sucked and blah, blah, blah.
Look at Glaber.
But if you watched it consistently, consistently just watching the at-bats afterwards, they took more pitches. Yeah. Their bats were better. Their strikeout rate, I think, went down a little bit. Their at-bats were more competitive. We had moments where we actually would string up a whole bunch of base runners when we weren't even doing that in the beginning. We didn't drive them in, but we had more base runners. Yeah. Because in the first half, we were in the bottom in the league in terms of like batting average with runners in scoring position, but we were also bottom in the league of just having runners overall. Yeah. Like we didn't have that many chances. So the second half, that improved a lot. So like I saw the makings of a good at bat in a good working account and making more contact. Glaber, his strikeout thing was from the beginning. He was doing good all year on that, with or Lawson, without Lawson, whatever. That was him. Yeah. Because when they interviewed him, he said that was his goal, and he worked on that. It should be the whole team's goal. It should be the whole team's goal. And then once Glaber got Casey helped him keep that right center approach more. I felt like he really took Glaber really honed in on just going the other way. Judge needs to stop being greedy, and Judge needs to stop being greedy and let everybody else have his team. His batting coaches and all of these people. I don't even think it's greed. I just think it's each guy has their own thing. Of course, I'm joking, but I'm saying though, they need some. They need something, because if your captain has his own team of people helping him with his what Judge should do is tell the Yankees hire him as an assistant. Can you imagine him? Yeah, with Casey. Yeah, that would be good. That's what they need to do. That's what they should have done. Because, like, you know who's in LA, right? For the Dodgers, JD Martinez, hitting coach, the one that fixed him. He's there with them. He's their assistant. He's been the hitting coach for the Dodgers for years. He's the one that fixed JD Martinez. Wow. Like years ago. Like I'm talking like before he got hired to the Dodgers, his biggest client was JD Martinez. The Yankees listen. If the Yankees are listening to this. If the Yankees are listening to this, you guys need to take the advice of the fans. Hal needs to start listening to podcasts and start listening to the fans. Look at your players. Like, exactly. Listen to the good players. Yeah. He's going to have to listen because Cole and Judge are going to be talking. Judge has been saying for years now, batting average is king. Batting average matters. Da-da-da-da-da. And then the moment, I mean, look. Let's put it this way. The moment Luke Voigt stopped caring about batting average, when he turned into trash. Yeah. Yeah. Like literally. Listen, overall, this offseason is important, of course. This offseason, we're gonna be out here cooking. NYY News, we're revamping. We got this is the new face of NYY News right here. These two dudes right here and Felix. La mente maestra. Yeah, so La Mente Maestra. So we're gonna cook up. We got a lot of stuff. Right now, this was just a preview. When the offseason happens and everything starts coming together, we're coming out with a lot of content. We have a lot of guests lined up that are gonna be on the show. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Share it, leave your comments. Don't let none of these jabronis out here tell you that your opinions don't matter, because guess what? Without us, they're playing in a Mickey Mouse Stadium with sound effects and a bunch of cutouts of fans. They don't have, without us, they do not exist. So don't let me, even if it's the most absurd comment, even if it's real LI-ish type of comments, let it be known. Share it. Let us know what you think. Get involved, and also hit us up on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Don Sicario1. Ruben, tell them where you at. My Twitter is at Cruz Yankee Fan. So that's pretty much the only spot I do social media wise, and obviously here at NYYNEWS. And we got shows coming up. We got Execution. We got Don Yankee. Yeah. We got our boy Ryan back as well. That joined us. You got Felix, of course, the OG, the original.
La mente
You know what I mean?
maestra, the
Like,
mastermind.
yeah, so like we got a lot going on. Hey, we're gonna as the news starts really appearing more and more often, you're gonna see us more often because we're gonna go based on what's actually coming out. We're not gonna just talk just to talk. You know what I mean?
And we got some fire guests. Yo, bro, we got a lineup of guests that are gonna come on that everybody's gonna be like, oh shit! Like we got some fire guests that are gonna come on, and
Oh yeah.
it's gonna be even worse. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna be fire. So I want everybody to stay tuned. Hit up the shop at NYY News. We got a bunch of merch. You could get yourself some of these. Get yourself some of these. You know what I'm saying? Gift yourself. Treat yourself. But remember, folks, at the end of the day, all this
Mixing live straight from New York City.